guys, Thogden here, and welcome back to our Champions League predictions. It's matchday 5, which means there's only 2 games left until the knockouts of the biggest tournament in the world. If that doesn't deserve a like, then I don't know what does. We've got Thogdad, we need to predict who's going through.
Theo, all of that is brilliant, but the biggest tournament in the world is the First Division. Bolton 7, Exeter 0. I've never seen a bigger Bolton victory in 48 years of watching the club.
So what is the first match?
The first game is Lazio against Celtic. It's second against fourth in Group E, Theo. Now, first time round at Celtic Park, Lazio won this game, and they've got a brilliant home record. So surely Celtic have no chance.
In Italy, they just lost to Salernitano though, Dad. That's a bad result, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But having said that, you look at Celtic's record in this tournament, I think it's 14 games without a victory. 10 games in Italy without a victory. 1 point in their group.
And what makes it worse for Celtic is they couldn't even beat Motherwell. She's fine, thanks, at home. 1-1.
Lazio 3, Celtic 0. No surprises here.
Lazio 3, Celtic 1.
Shakhtar Donetsk against Antwerp. It's third against fourth in Group H. Theo, now last time round, Shakhtar won this game, and they also beat Barcelona. They can still qualify.
This game is more important than you think. If Shakhtar win, they're on the same points as Porto and Barcelona, and they're playing each other, so they can sneak into second no matter which way that game goes. They've got a chance, and I think they're going to beat Antwerp. They haven't even got a point in the Champions League, and this is at the Volkspark Stadium. The last time they were there, they beat Barcelona 1-0. This time they're going to win 2-0.
Donetsk 3, Antwerp 1. AC Milan against Borussia Dortmund, third against first in Group F, Theo. Now AC Milan went and beat PSG, didn't they? But they've only scored 2 goals in 4 games. What's going to happen here?
Well, first of all, this group, everybody's beating everybody.
Yeah.
You can't call it. If you compare home and away advantage of all 4 teams, right, 8 games gone, 17 points picked up at home, and only 5 points picked up away. So home advantage is key, and this is Milan's last home game, and with it being the second final week and being in third, it's a must-win.
Borussia Dortmund, they're top because they beat Newcastle twice, which surprised me. But their record in Italy isn't very good. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game, Theo.
I'm sorry, Borussia Dortmund fans. I think it's going to go down to the wire where you play PSG on the final match day. It's going to be 2-1 to AC Milan.
Now, we saw the first leg of this, didn't we, Theo? Check out our video if you haven't seen it, because it was brilliant.
And by the way, as well, we watched Liverpool versus Man City on the weekend, pitch side. Go watch that video. That was an unreal experience.
But AC Milan are going to win this one 1-0. It's going to be very tight. Feyenoord against Atletico Madrid. It's third against first in Group E, Theo. Now, this is Diego Simeone's 100th game as a manager in the UCL. I've got a little quiz for you. I'm going to surprise you here with this one.
Okay.
Only 2 managers have been a manager in the UCL more than 100 times with the same club. Who are those managers?
It's got to be Pep Guardiola, eh?
Ooh, you sure about that
or
one?
Jurgen Klopp?
The answers are Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger. I thought you'd get that, Theo. But tell me about this game.
Comments are raging.
What's going to happen?
Feyenoord are without their gunman, Santiago Jimenez. On the weekend, they had the Rotterdam derby, and it ended 4-2 to Feyenoord, and Santiago scored a hat-trick. You take the Mexican out the team, and they're missing something key. And the fact it's so close in this group means this game is so important, and they're without their suspended Santi. So I've got no choice but to back Atletico. Grisou is scoring every game, and I think he'll score again in a 1-0 win.
Feyenoord 1, Atletico Madrid 2. Paris Saint-Germain against Newcastle United, second against fourth in Group F. Now PSG are top of their domestic league.
They are.
Of course they are, they're PSG. But their record against English teams in the UCL, lost 6 of the last 8. Does that bode well for Newcastle?
No, it doesn't. It's difficult for them, isn't it, coming into this game. They have just beaten Chelsea 4-1. I predicted Chelsea to win that game. They're much better than I expect at home, but they're travelling away. Now, the truth is, they've already beaten PSG. Mentally, with the same lads out there, maybe they could do it.
Yeah, and they've not only beaten them, they beat them 4-1, as we remember, at St James's Park.
But Paris seem to get jobs done at home. They've just beaten Monaco 5-2 on a Friday night. Even King Killian got a goal. He'll be looking for revenge after the last performance in the Northeast, where he just dropped a stinker. And if he does get the job done now, not only will the story be about him, but it knocks Newcastle out.
PSG 2, Newcastle 1.
I spoke to Rio Ferdinand the other day, and he said he was going to this match. He's looking forward to it. He's going to be working on TNT Sport for it. I think there could be an upset on the cards, but I'm not going to predict it. 2-1 PSG, King Killian with the winner.
Wait a minute, you met Rio Ferdinand. Where was my invite?
Hey, you know what? He said he wanted to join us for a random match, with us two.
No
He wants
way.
to go with Thogden to a match.
He's got to come to a Bolton game.
No, he said he hates Bolton.
Oh, come on.
You'll see that in a video soon, guys. It was a bit of a shocker.
FC Barcelona against FC Porto. It's first against second in Group H, Theo. Now, FC Barcelona's record against Porto, very good. Won the last 4. And on the road, Porto aren't that good, are they?
No, they're not. However, they've been good on the road in Portugal.
Yes.
Scoring goals, consistent, getting the job done. They sit on 9 points in their group, the same as Barcelona. And with Shakhtar, we both predicted they'd get the win, which means they're on the same points now as Barcelona and Porto. I think Porto will come into this game thinking they need to come away with a draw at least.
It's an Iberian derby. It's Spain against Portugal.
Yes.
There'll always be a bit of fight there,
I
won't there?
always say, Dad, Spanish-Portugal clubs, when they face each other, which is a rarity as well, it's so fiery. And the fact that Barcelona are currently playing at the Stadio Olimpico, the ground they don't really like, bad format, they've lost to Real Madrid, and we can't forget their recent matches. They drew 1-1 on the road to Rayo Vallecano, and they lost in Germany to Shakhtar in a neutral stadium. They lost 1-0 to Shakhtar, Dad. The last time. Xavi is in freefall. These are poor results with Lewandowski up top. I'm predicting Barcelona 0, Porto 1.
No, you're not.
Clip it.
Where is
Clip
Jeremy
it.
Beadle? This is going to be Barcelona 2, Porto 1. I think it'll be competitive and close. Young boys against Crvena Zvezda, Theo, 4th against 3rd in Group G. Now, these are two teams who are struggling a bit. Young boys have never beaten Red Star Belgrade in Europe.
Yeah, it's a bit of an ultras fight-off, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Most people think this is a pointless game, but it's really not. It's a Europa League spot available for two clubs that would love to be there at the knockout stages. The only point that either of them had picked up was against each other, and that was the 1 point they gained at Red Stars Maracana, a 2-2 draw where Crvena Zvezda sneaked it back with an 88th minute equaliser.
Red Star, brilliant on their home turf, Theo, but away from there, terrible. They've lost the last 9 away games in Europe.
I've got a feeling Osman Bakari will score a late winner to send them through to the Europa League for Red Star. 0-1.
I think this will be Young Boys' first win ever against Red Star Belgrade by 2-1. Manchester City against RB Leipzig, first against second in Group G. Theo, now both of these teams have qualified. Man City have won 4 in a row. They've got 17 games in the UCL without defeat. Last time they met, Theo, what happened?
7-0.
Yeah.
Battery. And it's because both these teams play super attacking football. But last time, nothing fell in favour of Leipzig. Pep's probably got a chip on his shoulder after that 1-1 against Liverpool. Some of the VAR decisions, how they protected Alisson, which I thought was a disgrace, happened in front of me. What do you think about that?
I thought that was very, very harsh, Theo. But did you enjoy that game?
Great game, and I think City played really well, which is why I'm going to back them to win this game 5-1.
Manchester City 4, RB Leipzig 1. Over to Wednesday night now, Theo. It's Galatasaray against Manchester United, 3rd against 4th in Group A. And what a game this is going to be, because Galatasaray, 2nd in their domestic league. The last 2 games against Man United, they won. Surely they've got a good chance here.
This is the last chance for Manchester United and probably Galatasaray. There's 1 point that separates Copenhagen, Galata, and United in the table. There's only 1 UCL spot left, lads. Fight out for it.
The last 3 times they played Galatasaray, 0 goals scored. But I reckon they're going to score a goal, and I reckon Højlund is going to get it, Theo.
No one goes to Galatasaray and finds it easy.
No.
That atmosphere is maybe the best in the world at home.
Yeah.
And it'll be packed out. Everybody in there will be singing as loud as they can. The fans are right by the pitch. If you know the stadium, 50,000 fans right in your face. Everybody's standing. Rio Ferdinand's going to this. I told him, you never played there as a player. He told me you never played there as a player.
Really?
I told him, you might see the best atmosphere of a football game you ever see. Galatasaray will hold them out. 2-2 draw. Goals will come from Zaha and Maguire.
1-1.
Oh, okay.
Sevilla versus PSV Eindhoven. This is 4th versus 2nd in Group B, Theo. Now, Sevilla, I cannot work them out because they are 15th in their domestic league. And you look at their recent record in the UCL, Theo. 1-2, drawn 8, lost 8. They're just not very good in Europe. Now, PSV have been brilliant in their domestic league this season, but a look at their away record in Europe in the UCL. Drawn 5, lost 10, and won none. They don't win away in this tournament.
No, it's tough. And what will really boost Sevilla is knowing that they have to win this game now. It's their last home match in Europe. If they want to find 3rd, they are the kings of Europa League, as we know. They've won it more than anybody else. I was in the after party with En-Nesyri. Something tells me it's Yusuf's time to turn up. I've just got a feeling Sevilla pop up. Yusuf En-Nesyri with 2 goals, a brace, and they win 2-0.
I think this will be a cracker, very hard to call. So I'm going to go 2-2. Bayern Munich versus FC Copenhagen. This is first against second in Group A, but there's 8 points between these teams, Theo.
Yes.
What can you say about Bayern Munich at home in this tournament? Won 18 of the last 21, and with Harry Kane firing on all cylinders, surely a heavy home win.
They score a lot of goals, but at home, they also like to concede.
Yeah.
I was there at home to Manchester United in the Champions League, 4-3. You never know what you're going to get. I remember when Copenhagen fans travelled to Dortmund. And I know Dortmund won that game 1-0, but Copenhagen Ultras were crazy. They were setting off pyro. They created a real show. They were the definition of a 12th man that day.
Yeah.
And let's not forget that this is a pointless game for Bayern. I have a weird feeling they'll come here knocking. Bayern 1. Copenhagen 2.
I'm sorry, but is Mr. Jeremy Beagle anywhere in this building?
Rooney, you know what I'm saying, Rooney? Because it's going to be a Rooney Bargy, the 18-year-old, masterclass.
Bayern Munich 4, FC Copenhagen 1. Harry Kane's going to play and score 2 goals. Real Madrid against Napoli, first against second in Group C. A couple of excellent teams. Now we know Real Madrid have won all 4. They've qualified already, Theo, and they've got a wonderful record against Italian sides. We're thinking home win.
Well, this is a massive game on paper, isn't it? Because Mazzarri has just come in as manager of the Napolitanos, the South Italians, and they have to go there fighting. Come away with something. They're currently on 7 points. If Braga win, they get to 6 points going into the final match day. You don't want that added pressure. Get something at Madrid away, whilst their pressure is off.
That is interesting, Theo, because Napoli have won both of their away games against Braga and Union Berlin.
They come fighting, don't
Real Madrid, Theo, that is a difficult prospect.
I'm going to go for a very wacky 2-2 draw.
Do you know what? I'm going Real Madrid 2, Napoli 0. Real Sociedad against Red Bull Salzburg, Theo, first against third in Group D. Now, Sociedad, top of the group. There's 2 secrets to this, Theo. First of all, the best defence in the Champions League, only conceded 2. And the other secret is early goals. They've scored 7. 6 of those have been in the first half hour.
They win football matches, Dad. Benfica away. They started it there. Back at home, clinical. 3-finger ripple for the 3 wins that Sociedad have done. Salzburg, on the other hand, also won at Benfica away. But that's the only 3 points they sit on. So they're fighting for a Europa League spot, realistically, Dad. I'm going to go 1-1 draw. I actually think Salzburg will actually come here with more of a chance of winning than the home team.
Interesting. Quite possible, but I'm going to go 2-0 to the home team. Braga against Union Berlin is third versus fourth in Group C, Theo. And if Braga win this, they get at least Europa League football. But Union Berlin, it's not been their year, has it?
Union Berlin Ultras, as they said to the old players, all they want is their lads to give 110%. Braga, difficult team to face. Horta scores a lot of goals. And they will be favourites because, as you said, a win guarantees them that Europa League spot. But I think it'll be a 1-1 draw.
But Theo, Union Berlin have got to go out and win this game, which they won't. It's going to be 2-0 to Braga. Arsenal against Lens. It's first against third in Group B, Theo. Now, last time out, Lens actually won this game. And I've done my research. Arsenal have never beaten Lens in this tournament. Okay, it's only 3 games, but they've never done it.
Yeah, you're going to need a lens to really look into the record to see if they've got a win before.
Wait, was that a joke? Was that a Thogden joke?
It was a great joke.
But it wasn't there. Right, come on, talk about this game.
Yeah, one more win for Arsenal and they've qualified for the Champions League.
Yes.
They've played well, they've gained wins, they're in a pretty easy group, and the first as things stand, this will be a 3-0 battering. Bukayo Saka, masterclass.
Overall, I don't think it's going to be a battering. I'm going 2-0 to Arsenal. And finally, Benfica against Inter Milan. It's fourth against second in Group D, Theo. And Benfica have been woeful. They've lost all their games. They've scored once, surely an away win.
I think their fans should go out to Bairro Alto and enjoy the Sagres and Superboc. I don't think they should even head to the BTEC Emirates. I just don't think there's a point. They're in fourth. They've lost back-to-back to Real Sociedad now. They're not the team they were last year, Benfica, and I cannot see them being Inter.
All true, Theo. Inter Milan, top of their domestic league. They've won 4 and drawn 2 against Benfica. This is going to be a away win. I agree, 1-0.
1-0 to the away side. Marcus Thuram with a bullet header.
Excuse me, trademark. I do the bullet headers.
That is all 16 games complete. What a mad game week, Dad. Loads of team qualified, getting kicked out the tournament. All I can think about is the beer I'm about to go drink by.
Bolton Wanderers 7, Exeter 0.